G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 4 of my Lightning Deceiver playthrough with Dave here. We are up to Twin Falls, as you can tell by the fact that I'm standing here. And that means we have a couple of things available to us. So down here is the insect hive, and this is what I've been farming for the last 10 minutes or so. And I've got a couple of these. I was kind of hoping to get a good drop early, and so I could just come in and be like, you know, go over here, kill the queen, and just grab whatever drops first. You know, I got this really amazing one. You might not get it, but, you know, just grab whatever. But I do actually want to get the of the Grove suffix, and anyone who's watched several other of my videos is cringing internally right now. But I do like that that suffix. It gives you a percentage heal when you get hit, and so it basically scales with you all the way to level 100, which is why I like it. So I'm going to kill my good friend Ulraprax here a couple of times to get my hands on that. Now, eventually, I'll probably give up, but I mean, Mage Storm of Celerity is pretty good. That's the second Mage Storm I've had. Also, Vigorous of the Winter Storm is not horrible either. Getting a damage proc on a ring this early is not a bad thing. In terms of what has dropped so far, I've had Warding of Decay. I've had Mage Storm of Thunder, which actually is not horrible. I've had Impenetrable of Tormented Souls, which is, again, not horrible. One really good resistance roll on it, some offensive ability. It's not bad. I got the Mighty of the Blood, which is garbage. I actually dropped this, which I've put on. This is just the first one that I could actually equip. All the others have been level 32 so far. And then I just dropped Mage Storm of Celerity, which, yeah, is pretty good. So, like I mentioned, you can probably just go ahead and take whichever one drops first if you're not fussed about the affix, or maybe kill it a handful of times and just take whichever one has the most resistances or the best resistances. And you can come back and maybe farm it later. I'm doing it now because at a low level there are less affixes that are kind of clogging up the loot pool. And since I already know that I want of the Grove, getting it early is going to be easier than getting it later. So that's what I'm going to do. As I mentioned, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. You will be perfectly fine doing this with just the +1. We are definitely here for the +1 to Inquisitor skills and the extra electrocute damage on Stormbox. That is basically the entire reason to be doing this. But I just want the better item. Fair warning, based on experience, this farm can take a little while. I've had it drop on the second kill, I've had it drop on the 54th kill. It really is just down to luck, basically. There's another one, so I'm already up to my 7th kill. I think once you get past level 32, if you're going to do this, if you get to level 32 and you still don't have one, give up. Level 32 is when the affix pool really kind of explodes. There ends up with a lot of stuff in the pool, and you're very unlikely to get it at that point. And probably the next kill after you give up is when it would have dropped. So there is also that to keep in mind. And I probably should be not killing trash here too. Obviously, anything that chases you, you're probably going to have to kill. But in general, XP is not really something that I want for right now. Okay, so hopefully I can get it pretty quickly. I'm not going to hold my breath here. But, you know, maybe. Mage Storm of Alacrity, so getting a lot of Mage Storm, which is fine. What am I wearing? Charged of Readiness. I think... No, I would have to swap the component there. think that's fine. I can live without having to delete another item. Let's just see what drops. Personally, I don't mind doing a little bit of farming early on while leveling. I know some people are not about that life. I just got done saying I should stop killing things, and here I am killing things. So let's try and reduce the number of things that I'm killing. But yeah, I'm perfectly fine with farming things early and often. But I definitely understand people who don't want to do that. Alright, that is not something I want to be standing in. Ulraprax the Frozen, okay. Alchemist Belt is actually not horrible. 3 heroes here is very unusual. Don't get me wrong, I'm 100% okay with it. But it is strange that there are so many. Alright, there we go. Mystic of the Grove. That'll do me. Thank you very much. Okay, and of course it's going to be level 32. The level 22 and the level 32 healing proc, I believe, are both identical. So it doesn't matter which one you get. But I'm pretty happy with this. I also got a resistance on it, which I'm 99% sure comes with the Monster Infrequent, because Mystic definitely does not come with resistances. So that's going to be great in, what, 6 levels? So pretty happy to see that. Alchemist Belt, like I mentioned, is pretty good, especially if you're leveling in Veteran and Hardcore. This is another Circuit Breaker. The issue with this Circuit Breaker, though, is it activates when you are very, very low. So chances are fairly good, actually, that you will go from 21% to dead, and you'll just never see this trigger. So not the most amazing Circuit Breaker, but it's also not bad. All right, so that is my amulet done, or my medal. No, I was right the first time. It's an amulet. And I can sell all of these now. Do I want to use this one until... I think I do. And we can go ahead and sell this. Actually, maybe I will use that. It's at level 29, 3 levels, 2 levels and a bit. Maybe use that. This is coming up next level. I am a decent bit short on cunning to equip it, but I think that's fine. Level 30. I definitely could just put some... I didn't mean to sell that. I meant to use that. I definitely could put some prismatic diamonds. Polished emeralds. Same thing, really. Same icon, different color. I definitely could put those on for some extra stats. That would be perfectly fine. Life total is getting a little low, so I might consider putting some corpse dust back on. We are coming up to the point in the game where vitality resist is about to matter. So I might just go ahead and chuck a corpse dust on. 25 royal jellies, plus I already had 2, is definitely not a bad thing. Let's chuck that on there. And you know what? I will get some extra stats. Why not? 190. Yeah, I'm very unlikely to be... maybe. If I put my next 3 level up points into the bar, I can probably wear that weapon. The question being, do I want to? I think I do. +2 to Stormbox is not bad for sure. Okay. So now that I've got my of the Grove suffix, let's go ahead and continue. Now, if you want to farm for of the Grove yourself, feel free. It is a really good suffix to have on your +1 amulet. But, like I said, you don't have to. It's not going to be the end of the world if you don't have it. I just really like it. Alright. And last guy. There we go. Swamp Dweller's legs. Definitely considerable increase in armor. Got some physique and cunning. Actually, I could put that on and probably wear that weapon, so I might do that. Let's go ahead and chuck it on. I am 2 points of cunning short, so if I just go like that, And then I want the extra damage, so there we go. Bingo, bango, bongo. We are good to go. Of course, now I have to go and change all the components around, but that'll be fine. Keep the add-on here. Chuck that on there. Keep the add-on here as well, and we'll chuck you on there. I think we are good to go here. Yep, I have components on everything. We are looking good. Alright, so we'll pick all this up. Curse of Burrich is a gun from memory, or a crossbow. Two-handed gun, I think it is. It's a two-handed crossbow. There you go. Let's have a look at the gloves here. Decent increase in armor. Battle Fury is decent. Getting a heal. You do have to crit for it to work, though. Yeah, I think that's kind of okay. Maybe I won't swap it in, though, just because of the resistances. That's fine. Okay, these guys right here, the ones with the yellow glow, need to die immediately. They are the priests, and they will be running around healing all the things you're trying to kill. So you definitely want to be killing them as soon as you can. I'm checking up here for the lectern, which isn't there, because if it was there, that will allow me to start a quest on the inside while I'm on the outside. Just makes it easier once you are inside, because you will have stars on the map that show you where the quest updates are, instead of having to find one first. So I also came over here to check for the same lectern. Obviously, it's not there, but we can also get some free loot. Hidden loot is always fun, even if it's not particularly amazing. Ordered on a... oh, it's an amulet. That's unfortunate. If that was a ring, I was about to be kind of happy. Alright, I am actually thinking Word of Pain instead of Rune of Callister, but we'll see, we'll see. Alright, so here's the Forgotten Passage. That's going to start the quest, Depths of Old Arkovia, and I've got 1 of 3 found. So that's going to make it a little bit easier for me. And these guys being dead is also going to be fun. Alright, Devotion Shrine. This is worth actually not very much. So because of where we are in the plan, as it were, this point is worth not very much. Normally this shrine is, you know, getting Elemental Storm or something like that, but with the path that I've chosen to take, getting Tsunami first, we will be getting this quite a bit later. And actually we'll be getting the Widow after we get the Raven. Alright, so we're done out here. I've got a really nice amulet. I've got the... I actually did the totem, which I wasn't planning on doing. And we've got the devotion point. So, let's head on down to Undead Town. It is really weird to me to see no undead here. I've been playing the Blade Master a little bit lately, and this place, I had to get some Rover's reputation. And I've been running through here a fair bit, and seeing nobody there is really weird, because it's usually packed. Alright, so I'm heading down here. This is going to be Nomos Dread. First thing I need to do, though, is take out all of the priests, because the last thing I want to deal with is him getting healed up to full. Maybe I'll keep Rune of Callister as well. I don't know, we'll see. Alright, usually, maybe not usually, but the ghost weapons in here, especially the maces, have a habit of coming with elemental steel procs on them, so keep your eye out for ghosts in here and kill them all, because they are made out of loot. Alright, I'm going to drop a rift here, and then that way I can run outside. Once this guy dies, there he is. I can run outside, I can talk to Minerva, grab her quest, and then go across the bridge. So once you're across the bridge, go ahead and grab yourself a rift gate, and then let's just jump back in. You could continue on, and there is a devotion shrine on the other side of that area, then come back. But there's a devotion shrine on the bottom floor of this place as well, so you're kind of just moving things around, not really saving any additional time. Mage Storm again. Mage Storm is something you might want to actually use if you get one, because the Aether Lightning is pretty good. Let's do the Lightning Tether, because why not? The Mage Storm prefix is going to have +2 to Lightning Tether. Alright, quest complete. Thank you very much, and unsurprisingly, I already know that one. It's a bit of a meme, at least for me, that every single quest I have that rewards me with a blueprint, it always gives me a blueprint that I already have. So actually we can just toss that. And yeah, if you don't have a blue weapon, there is a monster infrequent weapon coming up from Kilrian. It's going to give you a bonus on Word of Renewal. And it's probably worth using. I might even use it over this Sky Shard or whatever it's called. Cleansed Blade of Elgoloth. Okay, that has nothing to do with Sky Shard. Although it does have that damage proc on it. So yeah, getting the monster infrequent from Kilrian is really going to come down to what affixes it drops with. Alright, and Storm Shriek here, electrified. He's probably fairly resistant to electricity because of his name. And what do we got? Pendants we don't need, guns we don't need. Yeah, Veil's Edge, maybe? That's an Aether Axe from memory? Am I crazy? I am crazy, it's a lightning axe. Okay, well, I'm not going to use it anyway. So that's fine. Maven's stuff, from memory, is caster armor, which could be useful. The set bonuses are not great, shall we say. Okay, level 28. Love to see that. Definitely want to stay away from the meteors. To be fair, though, I probably should just stand here and tank it and just kill him. He's going to drop a shield every single time you kill him, so if for some reason you want a shield, it's not a bad way of getting one. If you, for example, were playing a completely different character, that shield might be really good for you. Alright, so we'll run through here. That was Laudos Vagra, by the way, who was another character that we have the quest to kill. Old Scars has one more. That's going to be Ravina Kerr on the... Oh, it's on this floor, actually. And we have some loot in the walls here, which is always fun. Mage Storm Amulet. Yeah, okay. So heroes are dying decently quickly, but bosses are taking a little while. I think I want more damage for the moment. When I'm fighting trash, I'm not really standing in the circle anyway. So getting more defenses for the occasional boss is not really something I care about super much. Alright, so now we wait, basically. Throw all of the buttons at her. There we go, another royal jelly. And we got some blue boots there. Are they any good? No. Pet stuff. Also, I'm going to put some more points in spirit here. I think 2 points in physique for every 1 in spirit is probably fine. It really doesn't make a massive difference, but getting some spirit is definitely a good thing. Earthbound as a prefix on weapons is kind of good. So you get a nice little shield when you, I think when you get hit. Is that right? Earthbound when hit, yeah. So you definitely could use something like this. Regen and armor. Not actually a shield. which is unfortunate because the shield would be much more useful. Tyrant's Warhammer. Definitely wasn't looking for one of those all day. Granted, it wasn't a Warhammer, but yeah, Tyrant's prefix is annoyingly not common. Alright, level 3. Now this is the part that I was talking about when I was said earlier that vitality resistance was about to become relevant. Just for this boss, and then it'll go back to being irrelevant for a little while. But you will eventually have to get... See that little yellow guy there? Just healed this massive pile of hit points. It's incredibly annoying. Yeah, so after Kilrian, vitality resistance will go back to being not very useful for a little bit, and then it'll be useful again, sort of Smuggler's Pass, Dead Man's Gulch, mostly in Mountain Deeps, I guess. Alright, so Kilrian is just up here. If I turn the camera, I should be able to see him. There he is. You can see all that purple flame. He is the only boss in the game that has his very own monster infrequent component. And he is also... I mean, he's not super rippy, but if you're not careful, he can definitely kill you. Now, I want to get the priest out of the ground here. There's always a priest. I kind of wanted to do that before old mate decided to come play. Definitely watch out for the dart. I think he just threw it at me there. And the other thing you want to watch out for is the goop on the ground. So that little nova is not really a big deal. The dart definitely is. I'm trying to show the dart, but he's not doing it. Maybe I'll just kill him. Alright, I think I can just kill him. He's actually not doing a ton of damage here. It's not nothing, but I'm feeling relatively safe here. So I managed to put him in the exact perfect spot where the meteor from my weapon just hit the wall. Okay, so this is dropped with rubbish affixes for me. The fire damage on Word of Renewal you can't use because you're not hitting things with a weapon. But the extra 4% healing is pretty good, and plus 3 to Steel Resolve when we get there is also quite good. But I don't think he dropped his... No, he didn't drop his soul, which is the name of the component. Tyrants again. It's everywhere when you don't want it. I swear this game has a desire sensor. 15 offensive ability, 3% offensive ability, 3% probably going to be worth more than 15 flat. I will take that. Check over here for the treasure trove as well. I didn't see it this trip through, which is kind of annoying because I wanted it, but here we are. Alright, and now we can bounce out to the Broken Hills and go on a little bit of a run. This is one of the longer runs you can go on. There are a few others as well. Ooh, we've got a corrupted hero here. I'm standing in goop, which is not good. Signet of the Rune Father, all damage, elemental damage, death sentence, and Inquisitor Seal levels. I may end up using that. So let's go ahead and chuck that in the I swear I'm going to use this pile. I've also picked up a bunch of blue belts. I am looking at the armor value on my belt, as well as the fact that it's yellow. And I'm thinking I might want to replace it fairly soon. I am also going to have to duck back to town at some point and vendor a lot of this rubbish. Okay, so quest-wise, I've got to do Lutra. And I've also got to... I've got to try really hard not to look at that. The Old Scars quest is going to sit there until it just annoys me so much that I make the run out there to get rid of it. And that's not going to be right now. Level 28 at this point in the game is a little bit higher than I normally would be, but I have done a bit of farming that I also wouldn't normally do, so I'm kind of happy with this amount of XP. And we can just pick up some free reputation here. Now this section here where you're going to see this square room, don't do like I normally do and just run straight past it. You do in fact want to run in here and talk to Lutra, and by talk to I mean kill her until she's dead. And I think once I get to Homestead, I might make a detour into Forgotten Gods to get the other Stormbox monster infrequent. The Chosen Helmet comes with a bunch of electrocute damage on it, which I really am thinking I want to get. Killing bosses is taking far too long. So I want to sort that problem before it becomes an actual problem. Alright, so that cost me not a prismatic diamond, an emerald, which is fine. Completion of the Raven, and now we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get the Widow. That is going to be the resistance shredding constellation for lightning and aether. So if we happen to get a proc with aether damage on it, it's not a complete wash. I'm actually thinking I may just... How are we doing for time? 26. What I might do, actually, is dip into Forgotten Gods now, once I get the next Rift Gate. Because I really do want to get that helmet. My single target damage is feeling fairly anemic. The other thing I probably want to do is swap Stormbox onto my right mouse button so I'll actually use it instead of just spamming Word of Pain at everything. Because for right now, you could definitely be forgiven for thinking this was a Word of Pain build. So let's go ahead and vendor all this stuff. I already chose to join with Soleil from memory, so we will be joining, or we'll be doing Soleil's quest. And I do want to check, actually, I definitely want more armor, if I can get it. And less weapons. How are you looking? No. Battle Fury, I remember that one. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And of course, I forgot to sell some things. So yeah, I am definitely going to regret starting this quest chain. It basically means I'm going to have quests in my quest journal until we get to ultimate. Okay, that's fine. Pick up these 4 quests. We're going to get started on Forgotten Gods, and I'll probably get the first half of this expansion done. Getting to the second half is the goal. So getting to the vanguard of the 3 is the goal. Okay, we've got Blaze Talon here. I think we'll be fine. Hey, there he is. Okay, I definitely do want to swap the Stormbox and the, where is it? Word of Renewal. No, Word of Pain. Definitely want to swap those over. And I think I'm going to max out Lightning Tether for my next level. Just so mostly so I'll actually use it. And I can probably look at dropping Word of Pain, sorry, fairly soon. I know I was just saying how much fun it is, but this is very quickly turning into a Word of Pain build, which is not what I'm after. And besides, the Stormbox is actually quite good. Alright, so I am going to get through this decently quickly, or at least that's the plan. Soleil, I believe I do need to do the temple, so I need to kill the boss of the temple. Let's get some more of that. And if we just run through here, I'm I might actually hang on to the XP ring from here as well. See, this is why I was using Word of Pain, because it just applies to everything, sticks on everything, it stays on them, and then they all die. Whereas with the lightning box, as soon as the person it's on dies, or the enemy it's on, as soon as they die, that's it, the damage stops. See what I mean? Just damage gets turned off. Meanwhile, the entire screen explodes. Alright, Temple City of Osyr. Let's get in there. So if you stay away from the broken statues on the floor, they won't get up and try and kill you. And otherwise, there are a few things in here that we can go ahead and have a look at. So there is a totem. There is a treasure trove. There's the totem. I may end up not getting that. And there is a devotion shrine as well. So I wonder if the treasure trove is going to be here. It's not in those two spots. And of course, the other door was blocked, so we'll have to go around. Now, this expansion at level 29 is fairly rippy, actually. Especially to elemental damage, so try and make sure your elemental resistances are capped, because there's a lot, and I do mean a lot, of elemental damage in this act. And a lot of it is in the form of damage over time effects that you can't turn off. They just apply debuffs and curses and stuff to your character, and that's it. You can either tank them or you can't. Alright, I see the devotion shrine there, which I definitely want to get my hands on. So let's go ahead and do that. And I think I can stand in this and then not die, in theory. Let's maybe move into one of the more recent ones, so as I don't actually die. Turn the loot off so I can see what's going on. And Razgalinx the Swift, one of those scorpion enemies. Boom goes the dynamite. Okay, so a whole bunch of stuff that I'm not really too interested in, but we are starting on the Widow. That is something that I am very interested in. Okay, and we're coming up on the boss here. At least the boss of the temple. He's going to be in here. It's going to be a lot of lightning, a lot of cold damage. And you're going to want to stand in the seal, because otherwise you're going to die. So, throw down the seal, throw down the lightning box. I was kind of hoping that that mine would trigger, but anyway, it didn't. Alright, so Ramzul, the High Priest of Osyr, can't really hurt us while we're standing in the Inquisitor's Seal, which is good. Mask of the Arcane Blaze. Okay, I was just saying that Aether damage procs are not going to be a complete waste. 15% elemental resist. I can live without, so I may maybe end up using that. I'm definitely going to swap this belt. I just got done telling you how kind of mid that Circuit Breaker was. But it's still better than 18 regen. So we'll go ahead and swap that in. Getting more armor is always a good thing, depending on what it costs you. And let's go ahead and grab the Eye of Ekur. Ekur? I don't know how to say that. And we can head out. One of the great things about Act 7, or Forgotten Gods, is that there's a lot of devotion shrines in this area. So we can... This is a special body, by the way. It gets extra loot. Yeah, so lots of devotion points in here, which is good because I like devotion points. There is one hidden down here, so we're a decent ways off the map. And here is a ruined shrine, which you love to see. Let's go ahead and add that into the Widow as well for some more energy, OA and DA. Got some random rares here. And one of the first legendary monster infrequent items in the game, I think it's technically second if you come here straight after Act 1. We have the Leovinus Ring, which is, it's kind of a whatever ring, but it does have 3% XP on it. So you can level up a little bit faster if that's your thing. I mostly come in here for the Devotion Shrine. I don't think I've ever really worn Leovinus rings. That is just so much damage. Look at that XP bar fill up. I'm playing the wrong build. This should have been a Word of Pain build. Alright, I am going to do this shrine. Mostly because I like shrines. Shrines are XP and loot, which are good things. And I like good things, so here we go. And we're just about done here, I believe. Vambraces of Dark Intent are really, really good if you're playing a Vitality build. There's Of the Grove again. Alright, so... Of Dark Intent gets you that Doombolt proc. Now, we're not doing a Vitality or a Chaos build. But... we are a decent bit over on Poison and Acid. We're a lot over on PS. Bleeding is actually not that big of a deal, so I'm going to go ahead and swap that in. Because I like damage procs at this point in the game. And that's a damage proc. It's on attack, right? Yeah, 10% chance on attack. So you're going to see Doom Bolts coming down. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to convert them to lightning. At least not yet. There you go. That was the first one. First tick. And one of the great things about coming this way is there is always an Exalted Stash right here. There's no alternative location for that, it is just always here. So you get yourself a guaranteed blue item that you can go ahead and sell to a vendor at a later date. I mean, chances are it's going to be not particularly useful, but potentially it could be. Treasure totem? Totem? Definitely could be a totem there. Maybe not a treasure trove, but a totem, sure. That Doombolt going off. So, we've actually got a decent amount of procs at this time, at this point in the game, or for this point in the game. It's very unusual. Alright, so Stormbox is maxed out. I definitely could get some more damage here. I kind of want to get 3 more points in Vigor, but I think... Inquisitor Seal is never a bad option. I was going to continue pushing the bar, but I guess Inquisitor Seal is kind of important. Being our main defensive layer. Let's go get the big dinosaur. Here he comes. So I'm getting sundered. We're about to find out if I care. I'm not sure, actually, if I care too much. I guess I care enough that I've dodged the next one, so... There's your answer. Of course, then I wasn't watching for the next one. That's fine, that's fine. So we're doing actually a lot of individual hits on this guy pretty quickly. And so all of the procs that I have, are going off more or less on cooldown, which is good. I do enjoy the procs. We will be getting another one soon, actually. All right, let's go ahead and turn this in. I've definitely had the Eye of Echo sitting there longer than I should have. I've also missed a quest back at the temple, so I might pop back and just grab that quest. What was that weapon? Looks like it's lightning stuff. +2 to Stormbox. Okay. Doesn't have a damage proc on it, which means I'm unlikely. In fact, I'm just not going to use that. Guns, I don't care. You can have that gun. This I was keeping for the Aether Missile proc. We can sell the rest. Actually, what was that hat? Oleron's Wrath. No, that's fine. You can definitely have that one. Okay, yeah, can't sell the quest item. I'm nowhere near the physique requirement for that. Actually, am I? 50 off. That's fine. Alright, I definitely want some more spirit, and we've spent all of our points now, which is good. Before I do this, am I... No, you know what? Let's go turn it in first, because I know me. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to do the quest, and then I'm going to rift back here, clear my rift at the... where I've just dropped one, but actually that doesn't matter because it's an actual rift gate. Who's Rickard? Sorry to do this. Die. Just please die. There you go. Good job. Who are you? Vikon. Okay, let's go. Do that thing where you die. There you go. So, task is complete. Thank you very much. And we've got a devotion point reset potion, which you definitely want to hang on to. Don't use that. There we go. What do we got? Barnabas, I don't care. Sagan, okay, Vanguard of the 3 is what I wanted to see, so that's good. Minova is a stat point. Calderos is just going to be really annoying. Let's go get the Soleil aspirants. The Soleil aspirants. Oh, okay, hang on. Hang on. I found some more friends to play with. And of course, one of them is a healer, so that's super annoying. I think these guys actually killed me the first time I came here on, I think it was on an Acid Dervish was the first character I think I came to Forgotten Gods on. And I'm pretty sure that exact spawn plus another one hero, because I definitely remembered it was 3 at once. Definitely killed that character. Alright, I've been looking for you, getting the Rift Gate. And yes, I've got an actual rift to teleport back to, so we're good there. Right, Kaisan, your aspirants are safe. Consider it done. What was that? What did I just accept? Speak with the recruits. Oh, that's this one. Okay. Yes, that's why I'm here. Prepare yourself. And did. Lovely. Okay, you fought well, you've proven your worth. Allow them to stay. I am a magnanimous god. Kaysen rather than Kaisen. Okay, they are worthy. Don't expect me to go rescue them. Right. That's all of the quests in this area for the moment. Done. So let's focus now on getting to... well, getting the devotion shrines in this area, but also getting to the Vanguard of the 3. So, Karen Docks here. Potentially... I can't remember the conversion on the shoulders. I think it might be... is it Vitality to Elemental, or is it the other way around? Anyway, we might have some nice gear in this section as well. My shoulders probably could do with updating, actually, now that I think that. Let's go ahead and upgrade them. Next thing I want to check is, do I actually need that silk swatch? And unfortunately the answer is yes, I do. So let's go ahead and chuck that on. This one is not lightning. Okay, Corvin Cask, this is not the hat that I want. However, this does have a bunch of chaos resistance, so maybe... Yeah, it's not a big deal. They're actually both interchangeably mid, except for the fact that they have chaos resistance. Alright, so I'm looking out for some of the armor from this section. Most of it has some sort of damage conversion on it, so you do need to keep your eyes out for that. Don't use anything that's going to convert your damage away from elemental or lightning. Either one would be bad. The shoulders that I was talking about in this section, I'm 99% sure convert either to or from elemental damage, which is not great. Definitely want the treasure trove though. And I want to head up into the back left corner of this area because there is a devotion shrine up here. Now, it's somewhat of an annoying fight. And by annoying, I just mean difficult. Or at least it can be. Certainly doesn't help that there's a totem here. Which I am, of course, going to do. So let's just go ahead and stack a whole bunch of these little fire circles on the ground. I think one more and then I'll pop this open. Is that actually it? That is actually it, okay. Pick all these up and have a look at what we got. So Sanctuary Relic is kind of whatever. That's not bad, I guess, but I don't think I've ever used it. Adept's Grips. I'm level 30. I can wear these. 3 scrap and a cracked lodestone to craft a pair of gloves with a lightning bolt proc. Ugh. When hit. When hit. And potentially I could actually... Let's go ahead and craft one of those. Because potentially I could get another damage proc on them. So let's go ahead and knock out maybe 2. So Adept's Boots. Am I interested in the boots? Elemental and Aether. 5 levels. I've got faction stuff coming up, so not really. And let's go ahead and see what we get here. Of Thunder. Okay. Okay. 30% chance when hit that we do a ton of lightning damage. I mean, I have to, right? Let's make another one, just have a look. Of Protection, no. Mystic. Oh no, I needed that. I need the Cunning. Okay, well, I'm going to hang on to it because I'm almost certainly going to wear it. How about the Signet of the Runefather? Chaos Resistance. How much piercing am I over by? Not enough to take that off. And then Elemental would be fine because I'm getting Poison Acid. Yeah, I think I can drop the Slith Primal Ring. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Getting additional skill points in Inquisitor Seal is always good. Death Sentence is... Where's Death Sentence? That's that one, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty good. Extra elemental damage. Okay, definitely don't need these. However... Nah. I was looking at the armor and thinking about it. Thinking real hard about it. I don't have a component on that, so I think I'm going to throw a... where are you? Corpse Dust on it. Probably could have put an emerald on it as well and then swapped the gloves. Probably what I should have done. How much am I short here? 201 and I need 5. Okay, so next level up. Where are we going? There we go. Alright, so this one usually I guess is fine. but I've had some very, very difficult fights here in the past. Though having said that, I may be remembering ultimate difficulty with Nemesis. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I was definitely not remembering this. Boom goes the dynamite. Quick draw gloves, okay. Yeah, I kind of don't care about any of that. Another point in the Widow. Aether damage, physique and spirit. Every stat except for the one that I actually want. Alright, next thing I want to do in this area is leave, actually. I want to find the rift gate, and I mean, granted, finding it is not hard because it's always in the same spot. Corvin plating may be good. I'm going to have a look at that. Just go ahead and grab it and be on my way. We have Aether to Vitality conversion, which I don't really care about. We've got a bleeding resistance, which I also... yeah, it's okay, but no. Totem, treasure trove, not totem. Could be in here, so have a look if you haven't found yours already. And I am definitely going to actually drop a rift gate here. And then that way I can run down here, I can grab this, and then we can go back. So this is probably the extent of the progress I'm going to make this particular episode. I am going to go and do the temple for Anorak's brothers, assuming I haven't just gone the wrong way, which I think I have. Nope, we're looking good. I believe the treasure trove can also be kind of here-ish as well. Don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure. Hey! Alright, Anorak sent me. Let's go down. Stuff him into a rift. Once again, there are a couple things in here that I'm interested in. The main one being the Devotion Shrine, and I mean, I guess Anorak's brothers. I mean, they are dead, so it doesn't really matter. Well, the one that I haven't found yet is dead. Let's pop him out. You're dead, being dead. Your brother sent me to find you. What happened? I will take care of the boss. Okay. Free dynamite out of that is pretty good. And this is what I'm here for, the Desecrated Shrine. And, I mean, I guess the boss as well. Yes. And we'll keep Old Mate with us, just so we get that extra lightning damage running around. Alright, let's do the fight thing. And this fight was actually surprisingly easy. Let's get out of the goop. Clerics of Thunder. No, I think I want the PS resistance. However, 2 more. Okay, picked up some resistance. That's going to be useful. Lightning damage next point. There's level 30. What are we doing here? I want that and 2 points there. And now I want those gloves. Because then people can hit me and they get zapped, which is always fun. Let's just make sure I can actually use it first. Yes, I can. Lovely. Let's keep those. Beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely. More lightning damage procs. Should have named this guy Thor. Completely cliche and horrible, but it would have been accurate. Alright, there is also an Exalted Stash in here, which maybe... yep, there it is. There's a few spawn locations for it. This is the one I find most of the time. Anchorite's leg armor, I think... is that the trap pants? It's not, but they are decent. I don't know what was going on there, they were just kind of hanging out. That's fine. Alright. It's boss time. Is he going to come to me? I don't think so. That's fine. So first thing he's going to do is throw little ice cubes at me. He missed. Can't believe you fumbled it that badly. Alright, so we've got to fight him twice, or technically once, and then he dies and his friend comes out to play. But we've got to fight him kind of twice. Actually, I don't... No, I do need to fight him. I was going to say, I don't think I need to actually fight him, but yeah, we need to kill him for the Anorak quest. Being basically immune to damage while standing in the Inquisitor seal is... yeah, it's mostly cheating. I will be quite happy when I get that helmet and I can actually do some damage. Skyfallen hat. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it wasn't a hat. I swear it was a hat. No, it's not a hat. That's fine. Skyfallen's pretty good prefix as well. But, yeah, that's unfortunate. Alright, let's go turn this in. And this is going to be as far as I'm going to go for this episode. So if you want to see the quest rewards, hang around. But otherwise, this is going to be it. What are you? Quick draw? No, that's gun stuff. We don't do guns around here. Although I am leaning towards a gun playthrough being the next one. We'll see what happens. It's my turn to pick. Okay, and we'll grab his tome next episode. Alright, talk to Anorak. Glad I could help. Alright, and farewell. Friendly with the other cults. So at this point, I can go and buy whatever movement runes I want, which is quite good. Do I have it with all three, actually? I may have just lied to you. Yeah, I think I lied to you. But I'm very close with Drieg. However, that is, like I mentioned, going to be the end of this particular episode. So I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And goodbye for now.